Hello folks, and welcome to another video. Today's video we're gonna cover the subject matter: immigration under Trump's administration. What's going on, especially the status on naturalized citizens, because again Trump introduced a new law that now they are capable legally to revoke the citizenship or strip the naturalized citizen of his or her citizenship. So basically, what it entails is this: there are certain factors that potentially risks someone's naturalized citizen status, and those factors are primarily one, if this person committed crime, immigration crime. That means, he or she committed fraud, for instance, during his or her naturalization process. If it is figured out, however many years later, doesn't matter, then the naturalized citizenship status will be revoked and that person will be deported. That's one. The other option is if this person, although he is a naturalized citizen, and maybe during his or her naturalization process there was no fraud, nothing, but later years this person committed some kind of not a regular crime, but more like a terrorist allegations, like he or she is a member of a terroristic organization, has ties, the proven ties, and actively involved against the United States of America. That's another reason why that person can be denaturalized. The process is called denaturalization, right? The person becoming a citizen after having a green card, for instance, for at least 3 years, and then the person can apply for citizenship, right? And then it takes about a couple year or two, and then this person can become a naturalized American citizen. That process is subject to, under those very specific conditions, can be revoked, and it's called denaturalization. Those two are the major reasons, major factors. Now, I want to tie this situation, this denaturalization, to Congresswoman for the state of Minnesota, Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is from Somalia. She came here sometime, I don't know what age, but she wasn't born here. She came to America sometime later in her life, and she became a naturalized American citizen, just like myself. I came to America at the age 25, 26. I've been in America, this is my 37th year, and I became naturalized citizen August 15, 2001. So Ilhan Omar, after she became she was a green card holder, and then became a naturalized American citizen, and then she was politically active, and with the support of the Somali community in Minneapolis, she was elected to Congress as a Congresswoman. So first off, I want to talk about what is the relationship between Ilhan Omar and denaturalization. Ilhan Omar committed a clear and explicit fraud for her naturalization process, actually for her green card process. Ilhan Omar got married to her own biological brother. I repeat, Ilhan Omar, Congresswoman, originally from Somalia. She came to this country as an immigrant, and she committed fraud. She manipulated the system by marrying to her own biological brother. This is how she obtained green card. And using this process, eventually she went through the naturalization process to become an American citizen and became a naturalized American citizen. I want to mention a couple other things about Ilhan Omar. Very well-known things. One of them is her explicit statement while she was talking to Congress as a Congresswoman about 9/11, about the September 11th. As we all know, September 11th is one of the very significant historical moments of Americans. Whether you're born here or whether you're a naturalized citizen, if you were in this country, let me put it this way. I remember exactly where I was, what time I saw on TV, what I felt, what I thought. All those things I remember just like yesterday. And anyone in this country is in the same situation. Anyone who witnessed through TV, through internet, through radio, whatever, they remember this. Because it holds a unique memory in American psyche. Ilhan Omar had an audacity to say about the 9/11, September 11th. Her own words, I quote, her own words. Some people did something that day. That day is being September 11, 2001. Unquote. To say this, some people did something, in my opinion, should be considered a crime. This statement alone, making a mockery of the day, like September 11, should be considered and should be constituting a crime. And she must be investigated heavily, very seriously, about what she really meant when she said some people did something on that day. One other thing I want to mention also from Ilhan Omar. Again, as a Congresswoman, from her own post in Congress, this is what she was saying to people of Somalia in her own language, Somalian language. The translation of it, as we understand, is this: I will do everything within my power as a Congresswoman of the United States of America, everything for the people of Somalia. That's what she said. Now, don't forget the fact that, any congressperson in the process of becoming a congressperson, he or she take an oath. And that oath is extremely serious. That means that person is dedicating his or her life, his or her political career, to the service of the American people, no one else. In fact, before this oath, she took another oath. Remember the naturalization process? I remember that because I went through the naturalization process when I was becoming a naturalized American citizen. That I don't have any connection, any ties, any loyalty to any other government, king, sultan, emperor, this, that, whatever the entity, other than one and only one loyalty, that is to the United States of America. Ilhan Omar also took that oath. And the same Ilhan Omar, from her post in the Congress, said explicitly, it's on record, and it's now subject to very comprehensive investigation under Trump administration, that she said she will use all the powers bestowed upon her by the United States Congress to serve the people of Somalia. This is absolute crime and nonsense. Thanks to the Trump administration that they come up with this denaturalization process. And like I mentioned earlier, the first thing is, if they found out fraud in that person's, naturalization process. And Ilhan Omar is now under the spotlight and subject to this investigation. Actually, the official investigation has started to prove that she actually got married. That was her second husband, and that was her own biological brother. That she got married to her own biological brother. What I learned is they now have enough DNA evidence to prove that that guy, her second husband, was actually her biological brother. This is not a new thing. In Minnesota for years, people were talking about this. Papers were writing about this. TV personalities, whoever, journalists, they were talking about this. But under the liberal administration, under the Biden administration, especially Minnesota being a blue state, for some reason, liberals were turning their heads away. I mean, forget about the law and legalities and all that. Just think about this. A woman marrying to her own biological brother. That's an incest. It is a pure form of incest. It is a sickness. And I don't think American people can accept that. But it looks like liberals, for the sake of wokeism, for the sake of the woke culture, for the sake of extending the, furthering the woke agendas, they just turn their heads away. They ignore this. Looks like liberals can accept anything as long as it's serving their agendas. And this woman, Ilhan Omar, was definitely, being from Somalia, being immigrant, was serving their needs. First off, they brought an sizable population of Somalis, dumped them in the midst of the Minneapolis, primarily in the Minneapolis area. And of course, their numbers, considering the rate that they're breeding like rabbits, they came up to enough threshold, demographics-wise, population-wise, to be able to impact the election results, and they were able to bring this woman to the Congress. Ilhan Omar came to this country like I did. I came as an immigrant approximately 37 years ago, and I'm every single day thankful for the opportunities and the lifestyle that this country has afforded me. Every single day, I'm thankful to American people and the United States Constitution. Immigrant has to be thankful in the host society that he or she is in. But how did Ilhan Omar thank, you think, to the country that accepted her, that embraced her, made her a citizen, naturalized citizen, and also put her in Congress with the title Congresswoman? She was saying that this is a horrible country. This is a dictatorship. This is a fascistic dictatorship in a horrible country. This is how rotten that woman is. And this is, unfortunately, I have to say that, how sick and twisted and rotten the liberal politicians are, the Democrats and Democratic establishment. Still, there are some people among the liberals are saying most of the people voted for Trump are mentally ill. I should be one of them because I voted for him more than once, multiple times. And we all should be mentally ill. But they are all healthy. They are always in the know. You know that, right? They're always in the know. They're smart. They know everything. And anything challenging their way of thinking is mentally ill. Trump came to power, number one reason, the illegal immigration under Biden administration, close to 25 to 30 million people, without any kind of control and restrictions and limitations, were dumped into this country. And two, people, I know personally, people, whether they talk about it or not, are sick and tired of seeing these people, like Somali people here, whatever the crimes they commit, police is turning their heads. I want to give you one example. I used to take a light train when I was actually working. The office I had to go was located in downtown Minneapolis. And I live one of the suburbs of Minneapolis, like a 30 minutes south of Minneapolis area. So I was taking light train in to get to my office because it was saving me monthly parking fees. And plus it was also convenient. Instead of driving, I was just sitting and enjoying my time and reading or something like that. The same train, I wasn't there, but I heard, and it was also, I talked to a victim's sister. It was about 10 p.m. Bunch of Somali gang youth. Several of them, I don't remember how many of them, they attack anyone randomly, and they were attacking particularly the white people on this train. Several people were severely injured. I don't think anyone died, but serious injuries were there because they had like cutting objects like knives, machetes, axes, things like that, or iron bars. And later on, I was talking about with somebody, and this lady, we were working together, and she said her own brother was actually on that train and attacked. He was subject to this attack. So she told me, she gave me the graphic details of how the attack took place. What do you think happened? City of Minneapolis did not even mention this. Papers didn't even mention this. No one talked about it. Because police wasn't even looking at it. They were just turning their heads away. Because under the liberal policies, again, if they did something, if they caught and arrested those people, it was going to be racism. So under this racism thing, it was okay for the Somali gangs to attack people randomly, to terrorize them, to rape them, to kill them, or maim them, injure them. It's okay. Because otherwise, if it's not okay, they have to do something about it. They have to take action. They have to arrest them. They have to put them in jail. Oh, it's horrible. It's racism. So these people grew extremely sick and tired of this. That's why Trump won the election. I voted for him for number one, to fix the immigration problem. Anyone who is coming to this country like I did, one, should be legal, must go through the completely, from the beginning to the end, legal processes. There should not be any kind of criminal element about that person. By the way, crossing the border illegally is also a crime itself. That's why I voted for him. And two, I wanted to see action taken against people like Ilhan Omar and her community, the Somali people. No one like her can get up in the Congress, looking in the face of American people, tell some people did something, referring to the horrible, horrific, and tragic things happened and took place on September 11 of 2001. No one can say that, but she did. And she got away with that. Although she was being questioned a few times, nothing serious took place. But thanks to Trump administration, the denaturalization process now is legal. It's a law. It's signed into law. An American citizen like me, it can happen to me also, can be denaturalized. That person's citizenship status can be stripped, and he or she can be deported. The process started, the investigation started about Ilhan Omar, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, and at the end of this, if it is proven that she committed fraud for her citizenship, first green card status and then citizenship status, then her citizenship status will be revoked, and then she will be deported back to Somalia because she committed a crime. She committed a fraud. And this is, when I heard this, when I learned about this from various different sources, I said, that is why I voted for Trump. And I'm really hoping to see her Somali ass deported back to Somalia. Thank you for watching. God bless.